Hello everybody, this is Havoc, and I am excited to tell you about the first upcoming DLC for Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. Still gotta work on that name. And it's called Duty Eternal. Frontier invited me to a short presentation event last week, giving us some very juicy details on the great content coming to the game, centered greatly around the Adeptus Mechanicus in Warhammer 40K. There is a lot packed into this DLC, from new missions, some beefy new classes, new weapons, and in-game mechanics that will help your Grey Knights destroy the followers of Big Papa Nurgle. At $15 though, it really needs to pack a punch. I think it will, but ultimately I leave it to you, the community, to answer these two questions. Is the content I'm about to talk about meaty enough for a DLC, and do you think that it's going to be worth $15? Give me your answers after watching. Let's dive in. The core of Duty Eternal is, as mentioned, centered on Adeptus Mechanicus, the cult of the machine within the Imperium. Now, wielding the Imperium's most powerful and advanced weaponry emphasizes a great deal of importance on the Adeptus Mechanicus, and in Duty Eternal, you'll get to experience this firsthand. But the real question is why? Well, if fighting Nurgle's forces weren't enough, the Adeptus Mechanicus has called on the Grey Knights for help in fighting a fast-spreading technophage outbreak within the same sector as in the original campaign. As you play through, you'll now see new enemies amidst the old, with technophage-themed mutations and warp surge events happening alongside Nurgle's plague-filled mess. But the Adeptus Mechanicus isn't just requesting your help. They're fighting alongside you with two new classes, starting with the Techmarine. The Techmarine's focus is, of course, technology. He'll bring with him a range of combat servitors that have new abilities on the battlefield, primarily in the form of actual combat support. It's a little bit like the Apothecary class, but with a lot more emphasis on the combat side of support. His extra appendages will allow him to do melee attacks, range strikes, protect soldiers as well, and heal mechanical-minded units. Wait. Mechanical-minded units? There are no mechanical-minded units in Daemonhunters. Until now. Meet the Behemoth Dreadnaught. This behemoth mech human infusion will bring some crazy firepower to your missions, but if I'm remembering correctly, only these specific technophage themed unique ones, where the Dreadnaught will join your original group of 4 knights to make a 5-man squad and even the playing field a little bit. This dude is beefy, he is chunky, but he has a really cool, unique flair to it. One of the more interesting things about this Dreadnaught isn't just its arsenal, but its interior. According to the lore, the Dreadnaught is basically housing the remains of a still living but devastatingly wounded Marine, using the exterior as it used to be able to use its own body. Because of how the inner workings of this machine operates, in the DLC, you'll be able to put your own severely wounded Grey Knights into the Dreadnaught, making it custom to your own battles and utilizing a knight who would otherwise be unusable until he gets fully recovered. Now, whether we can use all of the abilities of that fallen knight inside the Dreadnaught, I cannot be sure, it was not discussed, but regardless, this is one cool piece to the game that gives the player some emotional tie to this otherwise giant hulk of devastating piece of weaponry. But that's not all. Now, back in the original campaign, it was impossible to tackle all of the surges and all of the plagues before you could get to them. And honestly, one of the bigger things about the game is you could lose hours before you actually quote-unquote lost, simply because things took a while to catch up to you. Enter the Gladius Frigate. While not nearly as robust as the Baleful Edict, the Gladius Frigate will allow you to take an additional group of your Grey Knights to other parts of the sector and fight those other missions. You can essentially fight 2 different missions at once in different parts, opposite ends of the sector if you so choose. The difference here is that the battles fought by these Grey Knights are done so automatically. It is an automatically resolved system, and the outcome is of course tied to the severity of the missions and the soldiers that are going to face these unseen terrors that you cannot reach yourself. You get the same sort of rewards, the same upgrades, the same experience to a degree. It's just an automatic combat simulation and the results affecting your actual knights. Which I gotta say is actually pretty cool because it will really help the campaign move along and not give you so many defeated parts, which I experienced throughout all of my campaigns that I played during the game. It's a pretty cool system that I'm excited to see. Now, there are no doubt pieces that I am missing from this event snippet. And while what's been playing behind me this whole time is actual B-roll footage provided by Frontier, I don't remember everything I wrote down about the Duty Eternal DLC, so you can expect some more information from Frontier that I wasn't able to include in this video. However, after all is said and done, I'm pretty dang excited from what I saw both in the event and from the B-roll footage provided by Frontier. And it's enough for me to boot up the game again and maybe start another campaign, especially once I get my hands on the DLC. But what about you? Is it indeed a meaty enough DLC or is it worth $15? Or do you need more to justify that purchase? Let me know in the comments section below. And while you're leaving said comment, be sure to sub to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. All of these things help the YouTube algorithm, and I personally would appreciate the bump. The Duty Eternal DLC for Warhammer 40K Chaos Gate Daemonhunters comes out December 6th. So you've got some time. You'll find a link to the Steam page in the description down below. Best of luck and happy Nurgle killing, Commander. This is Havoc, and I'll see you in the next video.